pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Roll it.
Welcome to The Point.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Yet again, another week of The Point. That's right. We told you we're not going any damn where. I am your boy, Ricky B. On the other side of this screen, the man, the myth, the legend, one half of the Combat Universal Tag Team Champions, Haystacks, live and in living color. Now, coronavirus is still taking over the damn world. Stimulus checks are coming, but I haven't seen mine yet. But they're still coming. There it is, the gold. Behold the gold. Coronavirus, COVID-19 still taking over the world. Sports still shut down as we know it, although pro wrestling is still going on. So, of course, that will be our focus. Now, there isn't a whole lot of news to really talk about in the football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and on and on and on world. Other than the fact my ass is sore because I've been recently getting back into the gym and I recently realized how much that sucks.
Yes.
So, so pro wrestling. I think there's one little bit of football news to talk about, Haystacks, and for us, this is near and dear to us because we started right in line with the debut of The Point, with the debut of the new XFL. And the new XFL, apparently there's a lot of rumors swirling. Now, for 5 weeks, we had a good run. We had a good run because, just like everything else we do, man, we're all in, And the XFL was kicking ass and taking names and just coming into their own. And now there's some rumors swirling.
I think that's exactly what it is rumors.
Yeah, and I hope so. From what I've been seeing, there's on one side I'm hearing that they're reimbursing next season ticket holders for their seats and everything, holding their place for those seats, but reimbursing to get that money back into the economy, which is badass, don't get me wrong. And very cool events in the XFL to do. But then I hear the other rumors that they have no plans to come back for the next season. Now, I want to stop for a second and kind of let everybody know how these things work. You remember when you were in kindergarten? I'm not saying the XFL's coming back. I'm just saying I'm one of those people. You ever met somebody like they either love snow or they don't like snow? So if they even hear an inkling of a flurry, oh man, we're going to get snow, and they go buy the bread, the milk, and the eggs and shit, and you have the other people that are like, it's just a flurry, it ain't going to do shit. So it's a matter of perspective. And my perspective, your perspective, I'm sure, I don't want to put words in your mouth, is we want to see it come back. It's a good thing. Look at all the guys who would have never had a shot in the NFL otherwise that got signed because of the XFL, and that's just so far. So the perspective is, and the other side of the rumors is, they have no plans to come back. But listen, just like when you were in kindergarten and you played that little game where you all sat in a circle, and the teacher would walk up to the first kid and whisper something in their ear, and they had to whisper it to each other all the way around, and by the time it got all the way back around, it was completely different than what it started as. And I'm kind of hoping that's what's going on here. Because I just can't see them. They did so well. I just can't see them closing down. In fact, if I'm the NFL, I'm even willing to help push for them to come back.
Right.
Because it's like a junior NFL. Scotty,
Right.
what's your Stacks? What's your thoughts on it?
Here's what is bothering me, and here's what gives me hope. What bothers me is Oliver Luck and Vince McMahon have yet to speak on anything. I don't like that. If you are the financer and you are the president of this brand, it's your right to dispel all the rumors, to say, look, we're not going anywhere, but until the foreseeable future, we're done. Or we're belly up, we lost too much money, we're going defunct again.
Right.
But on the other hand, it gives me hope because Bud Light Seltzer is a sponsor. If Bud Light, if they were going belly up, the first people that they would have to tell is their sponsors.
Yeah.
Bud Light Seltzer and Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch, whatever, nobody has made a statement as far as sponsorships go. So that money is still coming in. So everybody that's saying that, you know, the league is broke, they have no money, shut up.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon sold his shares from WWE to fund this thing for 3 seasons. WWE and the XFL are 2 separate entities. As a matter of fact, he just had a case thrown out in court from where they were trying to say that he was funneling money from the WWE to the XFL to keep it afloat. There was no truth in that. They're 2 separate entities.
Yeah, and
So
that's just ignorance, you know, just ignorance, because
everybody that say that they're broke, they're not broke. Not even if WWE is losing money because of the stocks in the market right now, it has nothing to do with the XFL because those stocks were sold. He sold those stocks at the $103.25 price. Now that WWE stocks are at $37 a stock, it doesn't affect what's already been sold.
Yeah.
That's just market. So that money is still there to fund the XFL. It's whether they can sustain going forward and everything else.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we talked about it before, you know, I don't know if that's cursed or what the hell the deal is, man, but the first time the XFL come around, we can both admit, everybody watching this can admit, it was a shit show, man. I mean, it was a shit show. I didn't even watch it, really. I mean, they tried to blend pro wrestling. We talked about this in prior episodes. I want to rehash all this shit. But this time around, man, they were legit. You want to talk about it? Hey, I give a little slow clap to Vince McMahon because for the first time in his entire pro wrestling world involvement, he figured out what the word slow burn means.
Yeah.
Because he slow burnt the shit out of it. This was 2 years of build. And I was waiting with bated breath. And, of course, the point was born out of it. And, man, they were on point. I mean, no pun intended, the rule changes, the talent level, the footballs, the uniforms, the television markets, from FS1, Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, man, they were on it. And I know some people, you know, you have those assholes, for lack of a better word, out there that just want to watch the world burn, who said, well, the XFL, they started out on CBS and Fox. Then they were on FS1 and all these channels it was hard to find. No. They were on all these different channels because they were scouting the different markets to see which ones did better to find their niche. And, of course, most of the people saying these things are people who don't know their ass from a hole in the ground when it comes to business. But, you know, Vince McMahon is not a dumbass by any means. He may be out of touch with the pro wrestling world, but he is a businessman. So My full hope and belief and prayer, yes, prayer, is that the XFL comes back next season, because the players, the organization, the name, with all the effort that has gone in, deserves a full season. And I truly believe, even if it isn't next year, that it's going to happen. And going out on another limb here, Haystacks, I don't know if you've heard, Tony Khan, not to be outdone, is wanting to revive the AAF.
He should probably worry more about trying to get his brand where he can compete with the WWE before trying to go into another venture.
Well, here's the thing.
Another football league.
Here's the thing. There's an old saying out there, there's money and then there's big money. And then there's over the top money. Tony Khan family is over the top money. Much like Vince McMahon, he don't have to sell stock. See, he can literally be the one guy who buys an entire team of people. I mean, this man can buy the NFL right now if he wants.
Absolutely.
Simply put, he's got the vision. He's young. He's smart. He's got the want to. And I'm not trying to be funny, but AAF, it's the shittiest name I could think of for a football organization. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm talking about the acronym, the you know what I mean, AAF. I'm not talking about American and this, that, and the other, because, of course, we're American as hell. But in full, complete support of our country. But, XFL, NFL, catchy titles. AAF, man, and maybe he will, I don't know. But the rumors are right now that he's wanting to revive the AAF, and he definitely has the resources to do it. Now, considering he is competing with Vince McMahon, and make no mistake, he is most definitely competing with Vince McMahon. I won't say AEW's beating WWE, but it's certainly kicking NXT's ass to a certain extent. It's not saying a whole lot, but keep in mind AEW's new. Now, he's got that off and running. He's got the brainchild running behind it. The XFL fell on unfortunate times because of the coronavirus. Does he have a leg to stand on?
I mean, he does. It's just he's at the same mercy as the XFL at this point. What's the point in investing that kind of money right now to not know when or if you'll be able to start the league back up? In my opinion, he would be smarter to use that money for the love of God to finally get somebody to start making replicas of your freaking belts to try to get some more revenue for your current venture.
From what I hear, that's coming. I don't know if you saw that, but
I've been hearing rumors that it's coming, but I haven't really seen anything definitively.
Yeah, that's the key word there. As far as the AAF goes, it would be something. It wouldn't be a knee-jerk thing that came out, this fall or next spring, or it'd be 2-3 years out, no doubt. Because I think that's the one good thing about the XFL the first time around, is that everybody kind of learned from Vince's mistakes. And I think the bigger thing that needs to be taken out of all of this is that people are tired of the NFL shit.
Yes.
I think we can all be straight up honest about that part. When you have millionaires and billionaires all over this country trying to start football organizations, they've got a lot of really smart people, a hell of a lot smarter than me, that are in their ear saying, now's the time.
Right.
People are sick of the kneeling. They're sick of the bullshit and the politics. They just want to watch exciting-ass football. And for me, obviously as a job, I watched and took notes and things, and I watched all the games, as many as possible. But not only that, as a fan, I was truly excited to watch the XFL because, again, there was no Colin Kaepernick, on the damn field taking a knee, his little political bullshit. There was no, halftime bullshit and drama. It was just American football with new and exciting rules in it, which by the way, I do believe you will see some of those rules being adopted by the NFL. I
Absolutely.
really do. So this Tony Khan thing, the AAF, I don't see it as a bad thing. I don't. It definitely needs to be rebranded, repackaged. And you're going to have to change some things up as well. You just put out the same shit the NFL's putting out there. People ain't going to run.
My big with that is at that time, the talent pool is going to be so watered down. One or the other is going to have a subpar product. In all honesty, if it was me right now, and if I knew that the XFL wasn't coming back, absolutely. But if the XFL comes back, if it was me and I was a betting man and I was wanting to put my money on something, I would go and create another NBA league and compete with this freaking flopping rule and all this crap and go back to good old-fashioned 80s and 90s basketball and crush the NBA. Because the NBA right now, people are sick of it.
Oh, I've been sick of it for years. I mean, years.
That's where I would put my money if I was going to do anything like that. Would be I would try to go after the NBA because it's not like the NFL. You only have to deal with the kids being in college 1 year.
True story. Yeah, because the NBA is the one who created that rule, not college. So, that's a big deal, and that's a very good point. Hey, Stacks, I ain't gonna lie. It's a damn good point because, you're much like I am. We love sports in general. And myself, I played football, I played soccer, I played baseball, I played basketball. I played everything, man, from badminton to damn, full contact sport. But my thing growing up was basketball. Obviously I'm a Jordan kid. I love Jordan, Rodman, Pippen, Cartwright. I can go on down the damn list, the Grant brothers. I can go on down the damn list, but I was a Bulls fan through and through, balls to bones. And you're talking to a guy who used to set up the big-ass shoulder camera on a tripod out in the yard with a VHS tape and record myself practicing move after move after move, rain, sleet, snow, shine. So I'm all about some basketball, but I got to be honest with you, man. After all that stuff happened, Jordan retired. I'm not even counting the Washington Wizards shit. But after all that happened, man, went down, I lost my love for the pro sport of basketball. And I credit my brother, Matt. I got to credit my brother. When the Hornets were bought majority by Jordan, and he brought back the Hornet name to the Charlotte Bobcats, The Bobcats went to New Orleans, and then, of course, he brought the Hornets back to, you know what I'm saying. The Hornets went to New Orleans, came to Pelicans, and we were the Bobcats here in North Carolina. And then Jordan changed the name back to the Hornets. He bought the banners back from the Pelicans, hung them back up and all that shit. Buzz City, all this shit, new uniforms, Kemba Walker, off and running. My brother got me back into it, man. And we went to a bunch of games. And we had an absolute blast. Kemba Walker was doing his damn thing, and it was off the chain. And it quickly fizzled out. And I'll tell you what kills it for me, man, and I'm not going to make a big spiel out of this, is LeBron James. I know there's a lot of people out there that like to ride his jock, man. And look, LeBron, not that you're ever going to watch this, but somebody please tag him, send him this. Because I mean this with all due respect. Man's done a lot of good things for a lot of people who were less fortunate. And he's done a lot of charity work and stuff like that. But what I mean by LeBron, the LeBron effect, is that the whole 2 steps to the basket went out the friggin' window. Went out the friggin' window. There is no traveling anymore. There is, and again, I'm not pinning this all on LeBron. It's called the LeBron effect. It was his era when he came in, one of the last to come out of high school. And I'm not taking nothing away from the guy to come out of high school and done what to do what he's done in the NBA. Incredible. I'm not taking nothing away from the guy, but there's no carrying, there's no traveling, there's flopping like hell all over the place. I just don't understand what the hell is so fun about the NBA anymore.
It's not, and I won't say it with any respect whatsoever, because I can't stand the guy. And I've said that to his face whenever we played against each other in high school. The guy doesn't impress me whatsoever. He's done all this in a league to where, I grew up during the Malice in the Palace. You could see the dude in the eye. He would go into the freaking locker room, get 7 stitches like Isaiah Thomas, and come back out and play the game. To where now you get a technical foul for having bad breath. That's not impressive to me. That's not a legacy. That's not an era. For anybody that talks about LeBron James being even in the era of the sweat off Jordan's freaking socks, you need to get your head checked. You watch a LeBron James drive to the hole and a guy farts and he flops on the ground and it's a foul, compared to Jordan going and taking 3 elbows to the dome from, Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah.
They're not the same. They're not in the same league. They're not in the same nothing.
Not even in the same ballpark, man. And Jordan was 6'6". He's a hell of a lot smaller than these guys are now. Let's be honest. There's a lot of guys in the NBA right now. Hell, 60% of the league could dunk with their eyes closed 360 from the 3-point line. I'm exaggerating, but that athleticism didn't exist then.
No.
We as a human race are not only evolving in many ways, but athletics, you can see we may be recruiting from more, countries and different things now, but this shit that Jordan was able to pull off. And I'm not just talking about his moves. People don't understand Jordan. And I know we're getting off the point here, but I'll get back to the point here in a second, is that the shit Jordan did wasn't just on the court, man. Okay, and I know everybody talks about the gambling problem, and yeah, of course he had a gambling problem. Of course he probably cheated on his wife or this, that, and the other. That ain't what we're talking about here. I'm not condoning the shit, but man, this guy was able to rally people. Have you ever watched the story of the USA basketball team, the Dream Team, and how him and Magic Johnson went at it head to head and literally brought that team to the point where they would have chewed a hole through a brick wall, bro? So I think people forget that the Dream Team, how dominant they were. It ain't shit now. But, buddy, the Dream Team was unstoppable. You'll never see that shit again. And the reason for it, one of the reasons for it, is Michael Jordan. And, he was able to hone in their biggest enemy, Dennis Rodman, the Worm, the biggest asshole other than Bill Laimbeer in the NBA. They were able to bring him in, and Michael Jordan was able to make him not only a star, but a champion many times over, but a level-headed star.
Yep.
Dennis Rodman. We're not talking about basketball skills. We're talking about mentality. Not getting up in front of a camera and going, I'm the greatest basketball player in the world. What am I worried about? Get the hell out of here with that shit, man.
And then
So-
lose.
Yeah, no kidding. They're wearing a fedora looking like Freddy Krueger. But anyway, so your opinion is why not start a new professional basketball?
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
I mean, the thing is, baseball, you're never going to compete with baseball because whether people love it, hate it, in between it, baseball has always been the American pastime. Coronavirus. Baseball has always been the American pastime. You still, you don't have baseball players kneeling. You don't have baseball players doing all this political crap. They go out, they do their freaking job. That's it. Hockey is the same way. All these multiple cultures that are in hockey, you don't have this nonsense. So, I mean,
Hey,
The
they
same
can always
thing-
go play football in the Middle East. Oh, wait.
yeah, it's with football and with basketball. They always say, where there's smoke, there's fire. You start seeing issues and people start walking away from it. You've always got somebody standing back watching like, I wonder if I change the few things that these people are walking away from, just like Vince McMahon did, and look what happened.
Now, but before we go to our break here, there's one thing I want to touch on real quick. I want to make crystal friggin' clear. There was a rumor that came out earlier this week. I'm sure you saw it as a bogus Twitter account, ESPN or SportsCenter. It was not affiliated with ESPN and SportsCenter in any way, shape, or form. They came out and announced that Colin Kaepernick had signed what the hell was it? Some $9 million 1-year deal with the Jets or some shit.
Who?
Let me make it perfectly clear right here, right now. And you heard this straight out of my mouth. And if it ever changes, which it won't, feel free to call me out. pointiswhat@gmail.com, and you can come on here and tell me I'm a liar to my damn face. Colin Kaepernick not only was not signed by the Jets, he will never be signed by any professional football team in this country because he has made himself out to be a complete and total hypocrite, a complete and total asshole. And I'm not talking about race here. He's played himself, for lack of a better word. Nobody in the NFL is going to sign him, and his ego won't let him sign with the XFL or the AAF or any damn body else other than Nike or some other endorsement that's going to allow him to make an ass of himself on national TV for a paycheck, because that's the culture we live in.
And turn around and do the same things that he's complaining about to other people.
Right. So I'll leave you with this before the break and do your research. I know, right? There's people out there that love to call people ignorant, so call me ignorant if you will. But much like Hillary Clinton, and we don't talk about politics here, but I'm going to touch on this. The last election, everybody hates Donald Trump. Everybody loved Hillary Clinton. She was going to be in the inner cities. She was going to be out there helping you. She was going to be there for the inner cities. Where's she been since she lost the election? That's right. Doing speeches and talk shows for money. She don't give a damn about the inner cities. And Colin Kaepernick don't give a damn about nobody but his bottom line. So, hey, Stacks, with that, I'm going to get off my damn soapbox, take this quick break, and we'll see y'all on the flip.
Join us next week for another action-packed episode of The Point.
Hey, everybody, welcome back from the break. Glad you're still with us again. It's your boy Ricky B and Haystacks, the man, myth, and legend. One half again. You can't say it enough. One half. Combat Universal Tag Team Champions. Behold the gold. There it is. So real quick before we get started, I got a special guest. Somebody wants to say hi real quick. Baby Chain. Out of character, of course. My baby, right here. Miss Addison. So anything you want to say to the Point Nation? Like, subscribe, and comment. Get up here. Tell them. Right there. Tell
Like,
them.
subscribe, and comment.
There you go.
And be
Right
nice.
on. And be good to one another, she says. All right. Right on. So we were talking about what we were talking about. I'm not going to repeat it. Not worth talking about any more than we already. Exactly. So enough political bullish. So we're going to go on into the wrestling side. We kind of touched on the wrestling side, talking about Tony Khan, talking about Vince McMahon and the woes of the XFL and possible rebirth of the AAF. Now, some of the things coming out of the wrestling, pro wrestling entertainment, whatever the hell you want to call it, sports entertainment. I call it pro wrestling because that's what the hell it is. Again, enough of the politics. One of the biggest things to come out this week, and you were one of the first ones to hit me up with it, and I'm almost ashamed to admit, I DVR Raw, I DVR SmackDown, I also DVR Dynamite, and even NXT, because I'm just a pro wrestling fan. But one of the things that came out this week, everybody knows that Jeff Hardy's contract's coming up. He was out for a while with injury, so of course his contract got extended. Now you hit me up and you told me what?
There's rumor floating around that he's supposed to be getting a big push from WWE. No real details were given as to what this said push would be exactly. But obviously all signs point towards trying to keep him from leaving after his contract is up and going with his brother, who is now torching the WWE with an open mic. So could we possibly be seeing a Jeff Hardy Intercontinental title run? Could we see a Jeff Hardy WWE Universal title run?
My personal opinion, everybody knows I've talked about it before. Matt, Jeff, Shannon, Helms, all them guys live around here. And I haven't seen Jeff for a while. I have seen Matt, but I haven't seen Jeff for a while. And I think he's kind of being low-key, considering the situation. Kind of chilling. I know he spent a lot of time at the Performance Center, getting his head right, getting his body back right, getting back into the whole gist of things. But I don't see Jeff Hardy, if he's going to get a push, I don't see it being anything less than heavyweight or universal. And before anybody starts shitting on that idea, I want you to keep in mind, I want to take you back some years ago when he was having his big push, and he was with Triple H, and he was, an Edge, and people said it wasn't believable then. Well, I can tell you, I may be a little biased because he's not only a friend, but he's a local guy. I'm not being biased when I say this. When I watched that series, it was believable. And I'll tell you why it's believable. Because if you're going to have a guy like Daniel Bryan in the main event picture, if you're going to have a guy like Dolph Ziggler in the main event picture, if you're going to have a guy like Shinsuke Nakamura, who is complete shit, even being on TV, the character, not the guy, why the hell not? If you're trying to keep the guy around, I mean, hell, he sells a shit ton of merchandise, which we all know Vince McMahon is all about. Jeff Hardy, in his sleep, could sell more merchandise than anybody they have. Kids love him. It's no big secret. So why the hell not, if you're trying to keep him? Why? I guess it really comes down to who's in the heavyweight title picture, who's in the universal title picture. Now, for me personally, if you have a Lesnar and a Strowman and a Wyatt and all that going for say, the Universal title, then it probably doesn't make as much sense to have Jeff Hardy in that picture. But Jeff Hardy is a perfect person for a David versus Goliath situation. You could build this whole story where he's the underdog, he's getting older, he's smaller. Because, guys, listen. Jeff is nowhere near as big as he looks on TV. And I know when you hear me say that, you think, well, damn, he don't look that big on TV. Let me tell you something. Me and Jeff look each other eye to eye. I'm 5'9", okay? I don't give a damn what they bill him as. He's not as big as he looks. He's a tough bastard. And he's a hell of a lot bigger, stockier than he looks on TV. But he's a perfect guy for that David versus Goliath. So I could see him doing him and Braun Strowman. I can see them doing an angle to where, Braun, they really build Strowman up to be this over the top beast. But if you want my perfect scenario for me, I want to see the Fiend, Jeff Hardy. Because they have a history, they're great friends. The Hardy boys, Matt and Jeff both, and Bray. I think this could really be an epic deal. And if Vince McMahon is smart and he wants to stick it to Matt, you could do an ultimate deletion match like Matt did with Bray. Not as the main event of this feud, but as a part of the build-up to this feud, leading to next year's WrestleMania, right? When the crowd is back and you move towards this more cinematic shit while the coronavirus is going on, you might have some.
I absolutely agree with that. If I was in WWE creative right now, I would start building it up to the Fiend has some kind of control over Jeff. And as it progresses, since they won their case against Impact Wrestling, he snaps and goes into the Brother Nero character. You have Brother Nero versus the Fiend at WrestleMania. In any kind of match, that would be incredible. Whether it's the cinematic craziness, which I know a lot of people didn't care for, but to see the creativity that they allowed Bray Wyatt to have in that was insane. That was the same creativity that they should have given Matt Hardy with that whole thing. I'm thinking we're kind of starting to see that little nudge coming.
Here's one thing I want to leave everybody with. I want everybody to understand something. While we're talking about what we would like to see, most fans feel the same way, right? Because that's what we are. We're fans. Now we're the host of this show, The Point, and everything, but we're fans at the end of the day. And I it's one thing that people need to understand and grasp is that Vince McMahon is the one that calls the shots. The reason why I don't think we'll ever see any more broken universe in WWE is because when they had them both there healthy and ready to rock and roll, they didn't do anything with it. They did this whole woken bullshit, right? Well, and even that was spotty at best, okay?
Yeah.
That wasn't Matt's doing. That wasn't Jeff's doing. That was Vince McMahon's doing. Now, let me tell you why I don't think that they will go with the broken thing right now or the ultimate deletion or any of that. Because Vince is a businessman first and foremost, okay? So if he does that, anything he does is not going to be to get Jeff Kelvick hot. Because if you get Kelvick heat and you get Jeff completely and totally rocking and rolling and hotter than absolute hell, and next thing you know, his contract is up, all you've done is sell tickets for AEW.
Yep.
So no matter how big they push him, no matter how big a push he gets, and Jeff's not stupid. He knows this. They're not going to put him over. In the long term, they're not going to put him over. They may put him up there in that level while they're doing the contract negotiations. But look, Matt and Jeff, they're not twins, but they may as well be, okay? Because they don't survive very well apart for very long. Now, Jeff had one hell of a run. He became WWE champion. He became world heavyweight champion. If you remember correctly, he held both of those titles. Nobody ever saw that coming. Everybody thought it would be Matt, not Jeff. And although Matt was the ECW champion, he never quite broke through that Vince McMahon glass ceiling and grabbed that proverbial brass ring. I mean, his best thing, WWE, the best thing that ever happened to him was when he got fired and they had a whole drama with, Lita screwing around on him with Adam or Edge while he was out with his injury. And they thought, well, hell, here's some money. We can make some money off of this. So they snatched him back up and they had this epic, and that was some epic shit.
Yeah.
But I just, if I'm Jeff Hardy, I do the best I can. I bide my time. I take whatever they give me. I appreciate this push. You saw the video package on SmackDown. You can see that the rumor's true, that they are pushing him. Take what they can give you. Pick and choose your battles. And when the time has come, and they're begging, you got to weigh out. And look, Jeff's a father just like me and you. He's got 2 daughters, 3, I think. I think he's got a 3rd one either on the way or coming, or it's already born. Look, man, you got to weigh your contract at that point. Now, I don't know. I'll never know what it's like to be in their shoes, but I understand their family scenario. Like I said, I see them a lot. Jeff's a good daddy. He's a good husband. He's got a family, just like Matt does now. They've grown up. They've gotten a little bit older, got out of their, the bullshit. Do you want to make more money or it's like the WCW back in the day. I know AEW may not be long-term in some people's eyes, but I think they're longer term than WCW was.
Oh, yeah.
So you got more money or lesser schedule and more creativity. Why the hell not?
Absolutely. And here's another point that I just happened to think of. In order for WWE to do anything with the Brother Nero name or any of that kind of stuff, they would have pretty much have to buy that from Matt. Since Matt won that case, they would have to buy the rights of all that from Matt to be able to use it. So,
well, to a certain extent, I'm sure Jeff has certain rights to that as well, or his brother would lend him certain rights depending on. I don't know if you know Matt. Like I said, what's the best way I can put this without pissing Matt off? I know Matt, and Matt may probably watch this. Probably won't comment and all that for obvious reasons. But Matt, and I know, he's not the most personable guy, right? He's a businessman. And for good reason. I understand completely. He wants to make every dollar he can make, and I understand that, and he deserves that because he's earned that. Everybody's time is worth money. Everybody's name is worth money. When you busted your ass, I completely understand that. But Matt is a businessman, much like Vince McMahon. So if he can lend any part of the broken gimmick to Jeff with the understanding that they have a little handshake agreement at home here in Cameron. But look, you ride this shit out, you play it for all it's worth, keep dropping hints, delete once in a blue moon. just to carry that momentum over to AEW.
Right.
I can see it happen. Look at the free the delete series on YouTube. Matt's not stupid, man, by a long shot. And I know there's internet cowboys out there that are like, oh, it's stupid. Yeah, I mean, hell, he even used again, they didn't get it from me. It's just there's music out there that the War Chain character uses called Hyperbole by Technoax up in Jersey. Shout out to Technoax. But it's called Hyperbole. They used that in one of their free to delete videos. Matt and his wife, Rebby, are stupid, intelligent people. And what did Matt do from the end of his WWE run with Randy Orton over until he debuted in AEW? He blended the lines. He used YouTube to bridge the gap for wrestling fans between two wrestling programs. So if you're a Matt Hardy fan, you watch Free to Delete, which was friggin' genius, man. I mean, those episodes were epic. You had the Randy Orton, the neck brace, the concerto, whatever you want to call it. You saw that, and he used that in the Free to Delete, and he talked about it. He talked about the taboo. He blended reality with kayfabe, which is something that's lacking as hell. And then also in the same time, he was slowly burying, right? This whole deal was reborn as Damascus. It was a perfect, I mean, he couldn't have played it any better. With him and his wife, with her editing and everything that she was doing. I mean, Jesus Christ, man, what the hell else do you want from a wrestling superstar?
And mind you, the guy is doing all this out of his pocket, much like he did over in Impact, where all of that was coming out of his pocket and Impact was profiting off of it.
Sounds familiar, huh? Yeah. No comment.
I'm not saying that he didn't make a little bit of change off of that whole thing, but did he make back the money that he spent in production time, the thought process, putting it all together, the editorial? Probably not.
Oh,
if he broke even.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely not, man. I mean, look, he's made his money. Him and Jeff both have made their money. They got money in the bank, and I'm happy for them. Hell, they earned every damn penny of it. And if you ask me, they ain't got enough for what they've done to their bodies over the years for us and entertaining us, man. Like I said, I don't give a damn what they've done, the hardships they've been through. I love them guys to death. Like I said before, Jeff went out of his way several times to pick up the phone and call my daughter and talk to her and wish her good night and sweet dreams and just put a smile on her face. We run into them all the time at grocery stores and gas stations. They always go out of their way to speak, and just really good people, no matter what the hell they got going on in their life. So they deserve more than what they've got for what they've given their wrestling fans worldwide. But I'm interested to see how this plays out, these stacks. I ain't gonna bullshit. Out of all the wrestling in the world, and I'm gonna touch on it here in a second, there's only a few people that I hold in higher regard as wrestlers, pro wrestlers, than Matt and Jeff, and just as human beings. And I know we all know about the jail time and being arrested and all that other shit, but believe me, nobody's legit, as Al Capone said. Okay, let's go ahead and shake it off right now and flush it, because nobody's perfect. Only one was perfect, and he ain't here no more. So moving on, I saw a really interesting meme. Not even a meme, just a picture, graphic with a quote from, we were talking about one self-proclaimed king earlier. Now we're talking about another king. Jerry the King Lawler recently released a comment, or made a comment, that now, I'm paraphrasing here, don't quote me on this because I don't have it in front of me, but I sent it to you, or you sent it to me, or I can't remember what the hell it was. But everybody's been wanting to see Sting and Undertaker for years. And we all know the stories that Sting has been close to signing with WWE numerous times over the years, never made it happen, blah, blah, blah. 2015, finally made it happen. He comes on, and it's been recently announced and talked about by several people behind the scenes. Vince legit brought Sting on to finally bury WCW. And there was some pretty graphic conversations that's been leaked lately about, and I'm sure Sting, if he was to read some of this, Steve was to read some of that shit, would probably be pretty salty about it. Anybody who watched that WrestleMania, yeah, you had the NWO and DX, and it was a shit show. You knew Sting was getting buried from the word jump. But everybody's always wanted to see Sting and Taker. And Taker seems to be in pretty good shape. Not for a wrestling match per se. But now, with the coronavirus, Haystacks, moving to a more cinematic version, more of a movie-esque type of match with the Boneyard match with AJ and Taker at Mania. Now there's no damn excuse. And Jerry Lawler said just as much. He gave his opinion, and he said, with this new cinematic approach, we could very well see this match happen now because regardless of the health of Sting, regardless of the health of, Undertaker, American Badass, whatever the hell phase he's going through at the moment, we could possibly finally see Taker and Sting. Now, just imagine the buildup and the hype for this match if they started somewhere around SummerSlam. Imagine the pop when that match happened at WrestleMania. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I like it. I just don't want to see the Boneyard match done again because you're going to end up overdoing it. My personal opinion, try to do the cinematic approach, but to preserve both of those guys, maybe doing some kind of an I Quit match. You got Taker with Hell's Gate, you got the Scorpion Deathlock. If there was some kind of way that you could do some kind of an Inferno match, to where, you could do it in the cinematic sense, that would work. It just kind of worries me if they keep doing these Boneyard matches and Buried Alive matches. Where's it going to go? It's just like with AJ Styles. Now that AJ Styles has been buried, where does AJ Styles go from here?
Well, he could come back as some kind of dark entity, come back as a spirit thing. Yeah. You could do numerous things with Sting and Taker. It's Sting and Taker. That Boneyard match was, you hadn't seen a Boneyard match. And then now, next year you got a whole nother year. Now, about next year's WrestleMania, ain't nobody going to be thinking about that. I mean, so I understand you want to do something different, and this match deserves something different. I mean, you could do a rafter match, which it ain't got to be in the rafters, but you could do a whole set where it looks like you're in the rafters.
Right.
You could have Sting go back to being in the rafters, all these different hypes and all these different things. There's so many different ways they can run with this. And WWE, if they don't do this, it's just flat out freaking stupid. Because you have to understand, after this year's WrestleMania with no fans in attendance, next year's WrestleMania is going to be stupid packed.
Next year's WrestleMania, they better go and freaking rent out the damn Tokyo Superdome to try to get some of that money back and try to get about 200,000 people. The only way you're going to do that is freaking Undertaker versus Sting.
Damn Skippy. And, you know, if I'm being honest, everybody bitches about the part-timers. Everybody bitches about the Goldbergs and the Lesnars and, you know, all these part-timers coming back. And Stone Cold's little appearance here and there. Let me be honest with you for a second. If you don't want to see the part-timers of yesterday, somebody's got to step up. Because I'm not trying to be funny. The only thing that I see on the current product that even makes me halfway interested in the entire show. Now, I got my favorites. I love Randy Orton. That guy woke up one morning and said, I'm one of the best. And he was. No shit. God-given ability. Bray Wyatt. God-given talent for creativity. Not the best wrestler in the world, but has the ability and the creativity. Drew McIntyre, bro. I've been saying this shit for 2 years. I ain't talking about I'm not riding his jock because he won at WrestleMania. That dude is the total package. And he's only going to get better on the microphone. I want you to understand that. I'm not even going to touch that shit. But you got, like I said, the Bray Wyatts, you got Randy Orton's, you got the Drew McIntyres or Galloway. You got a few people, and I'm going to throw a shot at Braun Strowman because he's a North Carolina boy. But, you know, I love Dolph Ziggler as well because he's a worker. He put anybody over, don't give a shit. You know, but other than that, who the hell do you have? You have Ricochet, but they shit all over him.
Really, right now, I in all honesty, and I hate to say it because everybody knows that I'm a Bray Wyatt fan. Everybody knows that I'm a Strowman fan. Those are the two hottest things that WWE has got going on right now, and that's what they're doing is trying to bury one or the other. But in all honesty, at this point, your future, your next John Cena, Shawn Michaels, Rock, Stone Cold, Bret Hart is going to be Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
That's the way that it was written 12 years ago. That's the way that it's written right now. He's always been the chosen one. He took the path less traveled to get there. But he's the future.
Yeah, look, let's be honest, man. He's earned his stripes. He really has.
Absolutely.
He earned his stripes a hell of a lot more than some of these assholes that are put over. The man came in. I've never seen anybody more humble. He's come in. He was a big shot, a big head, and hell, who wouldn't be? You got the owner of the company going, this right here, this guy, he's the second coming. You know, it's hard not to get a big head when Vince McMahon's got you out on his flagship show saying this son of a bitch right here is the next big thing. LeBron James. So, he goes, he screws up, he 3MB, all that bullshit. He gets fired. He goes over, and they won't talk about it, but he goes over to Impact, and he got his starter kit, his world champion starter kit, man. And he did great.
Yep.
I remember watching Impact going, holy shit, who is this guy? Go look at him. I mean, he played the part to a T. And, man, he just got bigger and bigger, build-wise. Got better and better on the microphone. I wish he'd do away with this damn Claymore shit. You see a guy like that, you don't want his finish in the move to be a friggin' boot, man. You want to see some kind of powerhouse move. But, other than that, man, the accent, the physique, he's a good-looking dude. He can talk on the microphone. He's got the ability. He's got the ring awareness and the IQ, man. I just think he's a total package. And I'm glad to see he finally got his shot. It sucks that everything's going down the way it is right now and he couldn't have his moment. But it's coming. It's coming.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
So, unfortunately, the sports world ain't a whole hell of a lot to talk about these days. So, ladies and gentlemen, That's all you get for this week. Now, Scotty, Haystacks, I do believe you will be dropping the point on everybody this week. So, do you have anything to say before we segue into that?
As always, when we close this thing out, folks, like, subscribe, comment. You heard Baby Chain earlier. She told you what to do. Questions, comments, concerns. The point is what, or no, sorry. Scratch that. Let's try that again. See, we're live. We're live. We can't edit this stuff out. Point is what at gmail.com. I'm not going to make that mistake again.
If you can't hear, you can read it. Point is what at gmail.com. And also check us out on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is longer than my nose is, so I'm not going to try to say it all out right here, but check it out down in the description. Go over and show us some love on Twitter. And as always, we love you and appreciate you continuing to tune in, man. The Point is continuing to be a success. And as long as you're there watching, we'll be right here putting out content. Stay with us. Coronavirus ain't going to last forever. The world's not coming to an end. And one damn thing's for sure, no matter what's going down, what fails and what doesn't, one thing is constant, and it sure is death and taxes. That is the damn point. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been your boy Ricky B and your boy Haystacks. He's coming at you hard and heavy with the point. Until next time, we love you. Bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are one more time. What is the point of this week? As we've said many times and as we've said many ways, the point of this week is, even if we've got to scratch, scrounge, dig up, whatever, some information to talk to and to bring up, we're not going anywhere. There's a lot of places out there that might want to see us give up, but it's not going to happen. As long as there's something in the sports world, or even something in the world that we can possibly talk about and to give you guys content to enjoy, we're going to be right here. Again, if there's anything that you guys want to see us cover, anything new, old, new concepts, questions, comments, concerns, advice, likes, dislikes, hit us up. We're also on Twitter. We're also somewhat on Facebook. You can always drop comments right here on the videos. Until next time.
Thank you for watching The Point.